Within your means of egress, you'll be greeted with a couple different types of doors. One will be a fire door, and one will be an exit door. A fire door might be located within the building and might separate one space from another space, where an exit door is typically our door that directly leads to the exterior of the building. Let's talk about exit doors for a moment. Exit doors need to be inspected with a habit. You need to design yourself a way you're going to look at every exit door and look at them in the same way. When you look at exit doors, first and foremost, it should open in the path of exit. In this case, always opening outward. An inward facing door can create an encapsulation issue. Next, that door must be at least 32 inches wide. 32 inches wide is enough room for somebody to pass through, especially if they're in a wheelchair or some other issue of movement. Next, that door can't be bolted, latched, locked, or chained. That door needs to be able to be opened at all times. If there is a lock on an exit door, a lock from the inside specifically, then there needs to be a sign on that door that says must remain unlocked during business hours. Next, we want to make sure when you look on the outside of the door that you don't see any chains or anything else that might be able to be locked from the outside and not allow somebody to pass from the inside to the outside. And then also we need to verify that if there's any obstructions, any impediments, any blockage of an exit door, or any way that you can't open that door, that needs to be clearly placed on your inspection reports. Now, one interesting thing on exit doors can be located from the outside of the exit door. Let's go take a look at the outside of this exit door. One interesting thing about exit doors is, again, we're passing from the inside to the outside and not necessarily from the outside to the inside. So on this exit door, you'll see that there's no hardware. I don't have a latch, I don't have a handle, I don't have a lock. So that anybody that needs to pass from the inside of the building at an exit capacity can pass right through this door and we're outside. We don't care if you have to go back inside. You can find another means to get back inside. But as the purpose of an exit door, remember, you don't necessarily have to have hardware on that door from the outside, but you do need to have the capacity to open it from the inside and pass outside. When inspecting exit doors, if a door can be locked from the inside of the building, we need to have a sign that clearly says must remain unlocked during business hours. In this case, I've got this sliding door, and this sliding door has a lockable latch. And I need to make sure that that sign is present. What's also present on this mechanical door is a fail-safe that in the event of a power outage, I can hit the word push and actually fail or break or open this door manually that doesn't involve the electronics of the slide. So those are two things to look at. We'll find the same feature as we have on this sliding door, also on most revolving doors. So look for the sign that says push in the case of emergency, but then also identify if the door can be locked from the inside, that there's a sign that says please remain unlocked during business hours. Within the means of egress and your inspection, you will come across fire doors or fire separation doors. They're both the same. These are not the fire doors that a residential inspector might see between a living space and, let's say, an attached garage, that are steel with a magnetic gasket that don't allow vapors, smoke, or flame to pass. These are fire doors that will help slow down the spread of fire, slow down the movement of the smoke, and help the occupants of a building safely exit the space. So when inspecting fire doors, first and foremost, they must be closed unless other means are present, which we'll talk about shortly. And so in this particular case, I have a sign that says fire door, keep closed. Next, that door must never be wedged open, propped open, chained open, or any other means that be left in a space that's ajar. In other words, if it's a fire door, it's meant to be kept closed. Now, closed is only a partial case because they need to be able to be opened if you need to exit. So opening that door must always move in the path of your exit. So if I'm in this space, I need to exit that way, then my door will swing that way. In some hotels where you might have a fire separation door halfway down a hallway, very common occurrence. You will find that on the right side of the hallway, that door might swing forward, as if you were walking in the path of the hallway that way. And then the opposite side of the hallway, that door will swing in the opposite direction because you might be walking on that left side of the hallway this way. So those doors actually open opposite of each other. Because if we had them both open in the same direction, then from one side of the door, we would be trapped. And so it's very important during your inspection and you're looking at fire doors, you make sure that they're present, not propped, not wedged, and open in the path of exit. Now understanding the purpose or the concept of what a fire door might be in a building, let's actually look at what I would do if I'm inspecting the fire door on this building. Now, what we're saying could be beyond the ComSOP, but I still think it's very important for us to understand these concepts. Some will be on this side of the door, some will be on that side of the door. I think we'll talk about what's present on this side of the door first, then I'll show you what's on the other side of the door, and I'll tie it all in and show you exactly what I would inspect on every fire door in every portion of every inspection. So first and foremost, this door has to open in the path we're moving. So in this case, this is my exit. It opens this way. I have to have a latchable handle. This handle latches. It doesn't take any special movement. I don't have a knob I gotta turn. All I gotta do is bump into it, but it also latches. Beyond the latch, I'm on this side of the door, and it actually has a sign that says fire door, keep closed. I'm looking for those, unless the door is propped open by a magnetic strip. But on this side of the door, I don't see a magnetic strip. I see a closed door. I do see the latch, but let's take a look at the other side at a couple of parts that are important for our inspection. So when you think about a door, there are 6 sides to every door. And so when we're looking at, we looked at the other side of the door where we had the push latch. On this side of the door, we have a closure. That closure has to automatically close the door. When it's open, it needs to close behind. Now, on one of the 6 sides of the door, you will find a fire label plate. That's the label plate. On this case, it's located here. That actually indicates that this is a fire-rated door. Now, in looking at that label plate, what you're actually trying to verify is that it's not painted. It needs to be readable. And so if I walked into that plate and saw that it was painted over, that's something we don't want to have. Now, a fire-rated door also has hinges. These hinges, in this case, we have 3 hinges. And so we need to make sure that those are solid and that they hold the door in place. So it's hinges, closure, latch. And then lastly, what I want to verify is it's not propped open, wedged, or blocked of any type. Now there's one caveat to that some of these doors, which are fantastic doors, especially if you want air movement through the spaces, have these magnets attached to the door. That magnet is actually a grasp. That grasp is attached on the other side of the wall to hold the door open. And how that works is when the fire alarm goes off, if the fire alarm goes off, it automatically cuts the power to the magnets and every door in this building will close automatically. So in this case, I'd open the door, see if the magnet holds it, and if the magnet holds it, it's actually a safe door. So again, let's summarize. If I'm inspecting this door, it must be at least 32 inches wide. It must open in the path of exit. It must have a latch that closes, an auto closure that closes the door, not be wedged, blocked, or otherwise propped open unless it's got the automatic magnets that shut a door during the event of emergency. And then lastly, what we haven't talked about is make sure there's no holes or any other damage to the door that might be present. And then lastly, check for the label plate. Those are all important things. Now, if you want to go beyond the ComSOP, beyond what we talked about, another awesome opportunity you have, especially for an ancillary service, is think about looking at the ComSOP section 17, where we actually illustrate and show the exact procedure it takes to do fire door inspections in buildings. That could be an awesome opportunity for you as well. But consider making fire door inspections beyond what we talked about with the ComSOP as part of your inspection.